Imagine a queen evil enough to let her own mother die of hunger by actively choosing to starve her. Think that's bad? Another queen killed her own grandchildren. Welcome back to Curiosity. In today's video, we'll discuss 8 of the worst queens in history. Did Marie Antoinette really deserve the hate she got? Which queen had people thrown off a cliff? We'll be talking about all of these and more, so stay tuned. Let's start with Queen Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette is one of the most infamous queens in history. She was the last monarch to be executed in France following the Revolution. Marie Antoinette had a reputation for buying expensive things. This reputation turned the commoners against her, especially as they were struggling to feed themselves. When she was told that her subjects weren't even able to afford bread, she apparently replied, "Let them eat cake." This sent the French working class into an uproar. Today, many people believe that she was misquoted and that this was a part of propaganda against the monarch during the French Revolution. Marie's reputation suffered even more when her name was used as part of a jewelry heist, now known as Affair of the Diamond Necklace. A lady by the name of Countess de la Motte cheated a high society member by saying the Queen wanted to buy her diamond necklace. The necklace would be worth $12 million today. The Queen had no idea about any of this. The money was never paid, and the jeweler almost went bankrupt as a result. While Marie Antoinette's history is debatable, she was definitely controversial. But the next queen on our list definitely deserves to be called evil. Queen Ranavalona I was the epitome of cruel. What did Sleeping Beauty and Snow White have in common? They were both tormented by evil queens. Unfortunately, the evil queen isn't just a stock character in Disney movies. Many of them have existed throughout history. Some have been far worse. One of them was Queen Ranavalona. She was the ruler of Madagascar for more than 3 decades. From 1828 to 1861. Ranavalona was given the nickname Mad Monarch, and for good reason. She took over after her husband, King Radama I, passed away. To make sure there was no competition for her throne, she executed her own uncle. According to some records, the queen even drove her own mother to death through extreme hunger. She refused to kill her due to a sacred rule at the time that a noble woman's blood must not be spilled. Ranavalona was determined to keep European colonizers out of her kingdom. In one of her brutal campaigns, anyone who did not abandon Christianity she ordered to be thrown off a cliff. Several people were cut into pieces, while others were burned. The queen would also invite foreign diplomats who wanted to colonize her kingdom. When the time was right, she had them killed in horrific ways. Despite all this, she is now seen as a patriot of Madagascar, as many of her successors were weak-willed. They let the kingdom become a French colony soon after her death. By the sounds of it, Ranavalona's heart was made of cold stone. Empress Irene was no better. Irene was the empress of the Byzantine Empire and ruled with her son for about 2 decades. She took over the throne after her husband died. Ideally, her son, Constantine VI, would have ascended to the throne, but he was only 10 years old at the time. Irene tried to take the throne for herself and even led a conspiracy against Constantine VI with the help of some political allies. It didn't succeed. After reaching a truce to share power with her son, Irene made some pretty dramatic changes. She completely reversed her husband's policy of no religious icons, which caused a public outcry. She also made sure relations between the Orthodox Church and the Church of Rome were better. Irene was still not pleased to be sharing power with her son, Constantine VI. After about 20 years of difficult partnership, she seized power for herself and assumed the title of Emperor. After Constantine divorced his wife and married his mistress, the public was furious. Irene took advantage of this by organizing a mob to gouge his eyes out and blind him. Empress Wu Zetian tormented her family like no other. Whilst killing your own family members is not unheard of, Empress Wu Zetian took it to another level. She was the only woman monarch in the entire history of China and took whatever steps were necessary to stay in power. It has been suggested that Wu Zetian killed members of her own family dynasty to make sure there were no political rivals. She even killed her own infant daughter in order to frame another political opponent. She also had her siblings killed, so none of them could claim the throne for themselves. Some believe she had her own mother killed on top of that. Wu Zetian was keen on keeping her power, no matter the cost. She once ordered the killing of 2 of her grandchildren for the crime of speaking against her. Next on our list is Queen Isabella I. Queen Isabella I ruled Spain with her husband King Ferdinand for more than 5 decades. The Spanish Inquisition, which resulted in countless deaths, was established during her time as monarch. People who did not practice Catholicism were burned at the stake, many of whom were Jews and Muslims. In 1492, she ordered all Jews to convert to Catholicism, or they would be banished from the kingdom. Jews were brought to court and forced to publicly renounce their faith. Those who refused were expelled then and there. That same year, she sponsored the now famous expedition of Christopher Columbus in his search for India. Instead, he found himself on the shores of what is now America. These expeditions ended up causing the deaths of millions of Native Americans and completely destroyed the Arawak people. Queen Dida is another controversial queen. Queen Dida was the monarch of Kashmir for a good part of the 10th century. She took over all control from her husband after his death, becoming the queen regent for her son and grandsons. Her desire for power meant she didn't want any rivals coming for her throne. To make sure of this, she even got her own grandchildren killed using witchcraft and medieval torture. She was the sole monarch of the kingdom for more than 2 decades. During her early years, she would use her beauty to get favors from senior advisors in the kingdom. Once she had no more use for them, she had them killed. The crimes of Catherine de' Medici cannot be forgiven. Catherine de' Medici was the Queen of France, ruling alongside her husband, Henri II. She was known for her ruthlessness, even towards Henri while he was on his deathbed. When he requested his mistress, Diane de Poitiers, be given access to him, she refused to do so and let him die a lonely death. Catherine didn't seem to like her children much either. When her daughter, Margaret, angered her with her romantic affairs, she locked her in a castle. Catherine also ordered Margaret's love interest to be executed right in front of her daughter's eyes. The last on our list is Princess Olga. Princess Olga hailed from Ukraine and was the first female monarch of Russia. She became the Queen Regent in 945 CE after her husband Igor I was killed. The first thing she did upon taking the crown was get revenge for her husband's death by torturing his murderers with boiling water. If that was all she did, perhaps history would have been a little kinder. Instead, she took her revenge one step further, ordering the mass execution of the tribes to which the men belong. It's believed hundreds of people were killed on her orders. It's even suggested Olga had the heads of those tribes buried alive. She even made a plan to burn each of the tribe's towns. History is full of complicated figures. Care to learn more? Let's keep your curiosity going with a couple more videos, shall we? Here's what you need to know. Watch The Untold Story of Cleopatra, the most evil queen in history. You can also try our video on strange traditions to follow after Queen Elizabeth's death. Go ahead, click one, or better yet, watch both and learn more about popular queens throughout history. Is there an evil queen we missed? Let us know in the comments below.